what gives you the right to say what I want is wrong? Society says it's wrong, and conditioning have said what the average person thinks, oh, that's totally wrong. But why is it? Why is it wrong? And for what reasons is it wrong? To enjoy life to its fullest and enjoy what you're doing and enjoying sex to its ultimate. What's wrong with that?
Well, I'd had quite a few relationships, some more serious than others, before I met Jeff, but I hadn't actually swung. I mean, I'd been to what I thought were fairly wild parties, but not like this. No, I suppose I was someone who was quite private, really. I mean, someone who avoided mixed changing rooms and hated taking their clothes off on the beach.
To an increasing number of couples, being sexually faithful is not part of marriage. Their sex lives often involve more than simple partner swapping.
If Sue is feeling in a particularly sexy mood one evening or one day, she'll, without telling me, wear this S. She doesn't wear it very often now, she just wants to wear it for today. But really it means that she is open to virtually any suggestion that I make, and to a certain extent, within limits, she's my slave for that day. So S is for slave, S is for sex, S is for Sue. And so if I, for instance, said to her, I want you to go and pick up those 50 men over there, she has to do...
You don't have to do anything.
No, nothing too outrageous, but she then, within limits, follows my wishes. We've set up various scenarios for reenacting fantasies. In most cases they haven't worked, but it doesn't matter, it's just the fun of setting them up. I will be watching. Sue will be fairly exhibitionist, crossing and uncrossing her legs, and very often she won't be wearing any panties either. The scenario would be then, I would then come along, and Sue would then introduce me as her husband to the poor man who doesn't know he's in the game. We may say, well, why don't you come back to room with us? We never get involved with the person at all. After the sex is over, basically, he's out. He can go back to his little room by himself, or whatever, and we have each other. If I see a lot of men trying to chat Sue up or go to bed with her or have sex with her, I only have to say the word stop, and it all stops. So I have a sense of power over the fact that they desire Sue, they might have Sue, but at any one time I can say that's enough, finish, and they have to go home or do with it with their own thing, and Sue comes back to me. So it's a sense of power as well.
That's why we do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why we do it. Yeah.
To take part in these sexual games, you have to be very sure of each other. There's no room, because it's a dangerous game, there's no room for error.
So where are you from to after all this?
I'm London originally, but I've lived in loads of different places. That's why I'm quite interested in this, you know.
But where were you born, in Cyprus?
Born in Kent.
In London?
Yeah, just outside London, yeah. 4 years, but too hot for us.
sweetheart. I've been waiting for you. Where have you been? You haven't been chatting to my wife, have you?
No, not at all.
Right.
Do you want to have a drink now you're here? Do you want to have a drink now?
It's a dinner party with a difference. People ask me, you know, when they haven't been before, you know, how does the evening go? And I say, well, I can't really predict.
You're not organising it, you're just holding a dinner party, giving people permission to have sex when they want, if they want. So they do. It's amazing how many people enjoy having sex while having their dinner.
Oh, you know, when I first started swinging, because obviously you talk about it, but until you actually do it, I remember the first party I went to at Jeff, and one minute we're sort of drinking wine and eating cheese, and I'm looking around thinking, oh, this is very nice, but nothing's happening. And the next minute we went into a bedroom, this mass of people bonking around, and it was I'd never seen so many naked people in all my life at one time. And it was just amazing.
There were about
mind-blowing.
10 people on one huge bed.
Yeah, it was just
all
like
sort of having sex
wild.
together.
I equated it like going to a party where they introduce bridge at the end of dinner. And I'm not great at bridge, but I'd have a go and enjoy myself. And that's as important as it gets. Some of the people that know what I do, part of them, you know, there's a kind of curiosity, and they'd like maybe to be a fly on the wall. But then I think there's also the thought that goes through people's heads that you kind of, thank God I'm not in a relationship like that. I'm so happy with my partner that we don't need that. We don't need to have sex with other people, and we won't for the next 50 years. And good luck to them if that's true, but I'm not sure that it's reality.
Many young people still cling to the romantic ideal of sexual fidelity.
Open relationship just doesn't appeal to me, really. I think if you're in love, then I don't see how you can be in love and have an open relationship. For me, they're not compatible at all, really. I think.
No, I totally agree.
Do you ever imagine yourself being in an open relationship?
Well, it's not important to me, so I'd always stay faithful to one person. So I haven't in the past, but in terms of agreeing to an open relationship now.
Well, I mean, I don't mind him having sex with anybody as long as he doesn't remember.
What's that?
In terms of, like, basically, if it came to a day where he really, really wanted to have sex with somebody else, but it didn't mean anything, it was just like spur of the moment, I think I could forgive him for that.
You're right, hooked, and then within like an hour or so.
Clive definitely has a different persona at work. You do have a different persona.
You can see him getting camper and campered on the scale and going across like that. Like that night when
every
Vicky
drink.
Andy introduced his wife Fiona to swinging when they met 5 years ago.
that squat pie thing.
Tyson Street.
At Tyson
He
Street.
sat perched on the edge of the sofa. That was so funny. His kind of legs crossed like that.
He started off going, hello, mate.
My family don't know anything about what goes on between myself and Andy sexually. I really don't know how they'd react, actually. I think my mum would be a lot more able to handle it than my dad. But my parents are quite old. They're in their 70s. And my dad's very, very conventional. I really don't know how they'd react.
So to you, is it just sex when you shagging other blokes and other women?
Well, she don't shag other blokes. I won't let her.
So you're allowed to shag other women?
No, I'm a yell. No, not at all. We don't.
But you only get in situations when there's another girl.
No, we'll play, but you know, there's no penetrative sex because that is our special that we keep special. That's something that we keep. All the rest
So
is
you
just,
don't actually shag other women?
No, no. We call it playing.
It's kind of occasionally you'll kind of get involved in just a brief encounter, and it's nothing full on, you know.
It's just if you're in the, it's just a continuation of a party. If you're at good company and things are right and things are happening, well, why shouldn't you all get off?
So why don't you sleep with other people then?
Because Fiona won't let me.
So you just flirt and you do everything other way?
I'll have a tamper and a touch and a fiddle.
Surely for the other person it's personal. If you're touching them privately, you know, in places that...
But they're exactly the same idea as me. They do it just for the sexual buzz, you know what I mean? For the pleasure of it, without the emotion, without the, like, oh, well, is she I've no rules with it. It's just, her happiness would be my ideal situation. But also, for me being allowed to express my sexuality as I want to. I don't want to suppress my sexuality. I've got a high sex drive. You know, I've got higher sex drive than most. And I know that. And my libido is a problem, and it always has been with me.
Why don't you just control it?
Because I enjoy it. I enjoy having a high libido, so why should I suppress something that gives me a lot of pleasure? Why should I suppress my pleasure?
I'm not even sure what they do, to be honest with you.
Well, apparently they don't have sex.
There's no penetration.
penetration.
What is it? It's just playing around. I mean...
But that's just as bad as having sex, I think. You're being intimate and you're sharing your private parts.
Yeah.
Well, you get very interested in them, really, don't you?
I find it all quite intriguing, really.
To me,
I think, for me, it's a way of finding out things I'm not going to probably discover myself. You know, I feel quite naughty. I think, oh, I'll listen to that. But I'm not really into it, but I find it quite interesting.
Could you ever imagine yourself being into it?
Oh, I can imagine myself being into it every time I talk to them, but once I'm away from them, no, not really.
And to me, I just can't cope with the whole thing. I just think, oh, no, it's not right.
Why?
Because I think he's into it a lot more than she is. And that's, I don't know, I get that opinion. That it's more of a sex thing for him, not for her.
Hello, love.
She's like one of my best friends. She came round with her girlfriend and we had a foursome. It was 3 girls and Andy, and it was great. And then I went to a friend's wedding and basically the same thing happened, but without me being there. So Andy was like getting it on with Rachel and Rachel's girlfriend. So it's kind of within the boundaries of our relationship and the rules of our relationship, but it's at the very edges. It's kind of like in this grey area. And I got very upset.
When there was 3 of you and Fiona wasn't there, did Fiona come into your mind? What did you...
No, not really, because I was under the assumption that if Andy was going to do that, then it was fine. I mean, I didn't really think about it a lot because I was more into the woman that was there. So for me, it was more about her, and that's why I was doing it. But it was only afterwards when he said, oh, we won't tell Fiona about this. And I'm like, but hang on a minute, I thought that was okay. I guess I didn't really think about it a lot to think. And then when he said that, I thought, oh no, this is not good, because it's obviously not okay in their relationship for that to actually happen unless everybody's there.
I didn't tell her not to tell Fiona what had happened. I told her that she didn't need to know all the details. If I've been somewhere and playing with another woman, I don't come running home and telling her, oh, wow, do you know what I got? Because that's bragging. That's like, you know, that's as if I'm rubbing her face in something. If she asks, then I say, right, yeah, well, this happened, and I'll sort of tell her the rough outline of it, so that, you know what I mean. But I won't go into any sort of sordid details, because I don't think she doesn't want to know, and she doesn't need to know.
For me, it was just too close to home. It was like, hang on a minute, I don't want to be like this.
I'm worried about how much of it's going to go down the front.
Take your frock off then. Don't do that.
No, if I was going to take my clothes off again.
Jeff and Kath organise erotic dinner parties. This time we've asked them to invite Bob and Sue.
Yeah. Headland is fantastic because they have mirrors on the ceiling. They have 7-foot beds with 7-foot mirrors on the ceiling and 7-foot mirrors on the facing wall as well. So whatever position you're in, you can see yourself making love. And that was really good sex after that thing there. But that was the only time that's happened normally.
So Camden stopped the mixed saunas, and now it is only men one day, women another day. And I kind of liked the place, and I went along on a men's day, and I was really shocked. Then there were guys would come up and grab your willy in the sauna, and without even sort of, hello, my name's Robert, or whatever.
So nice ball you went, did you?
Yeah, it was, I mean, I love
been
going
to
there.
most of them.
Having an affair is more socially acceptable than swapping, much more. And yet having an affair causes pain, causes, you know, much more grief to the children than happy parents that might be interested in swinging, who stay together as a unit.
Affairs called breakup of marriages.
And yet, you know, socially, it's much more acceptable. We've seen that time and time again. It seems that people in swinging lifestyle very rarely have affairs.
They don't need affairs. Where is it now?
It varies. It's in this hellhole out in Hackney Marsh.
At the moment,
I think the safety aspect of swinging is that the fact is that there's no emotional involvement. I mean, it's not like having an affair, and I can say that quite honestly, having been in previous relationships, it hasn't got that spark of danger and the initial excitement and then a lot of guilt and heartache afterwards. There's none of that.
How it happened originally was because when we first got together 7 years ago, we started talking about our fantasies, and we both found that we each had the same fantasy of Sue liked the idea of having 2 men, and I liked the idea of watching my wife with another man as well. So a short while afterwards, we were holidaying in Gran Canaria, and we went to a disco that evening, and a young Spanish lad, he must have been about 18 years old or so, started chatting Sue up.
I don't know if you should tell this one.
Yes. So in any case,
we won't tell anyone.
He couldn't speak any English, and we couldn't speak any Spanish. But nevertheless, Sue said, "Well, if you want to come and join us later, we're sitting over there." So he came over to us, and we somehow managed to indicate that if he wanted to come back to our room with us, he could. And I was very excited, very erotic watching them. And then he left, and you know, as soon as he left, I left out the cup, and we had passionate sex in the bed ourselves. And
I've been in a situation where I've been totally and utterly faithful for about 5 years, and found the person wasn't. And that's pretty devastating too. I'm fine if you know that if the agreement is that you're both going to see people, fine, but you know, it's pretty horrible when you find that you've been conned, really, and you've missed out on a lot of chances yourself.
Do you think you and Jeff could be monogamous?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I don't know.
So. I think so. Yeah, I'm certain that, really, yes.
Well, we could be. I mean, yeah, I suppose you could do anything, but would we be as happy?
I only recently started to talk about it, and it's interesting the way that people do react. Women are very interested. Men, I think, find it rather a joke, you know, or perhaps even, my God, what kind of a manipulative female do we have here? I just didn't want to tell anybody else. Didn't seem appropriate. What do you say? Do you remember that girl who lived with us? Well, my husband was in love with her. I mean, what's it got to do with them? I'd been married for about 9 years. And we'd met a journalist who lived a couple of doors away. And we'd got friendly. And we'd all been out one Saturday. And I said I'd put the car away. And because we lived in a place that didn't have a garage, we had a garage some time away. So I suppose I was away for about 20 minutes. And as I walked in through the front door, I heard them talking in the kitchen. And I suddenly realized my husband was declaring his fondest love for her. And so I stood there. I can still remember what it was like standing there in the hall, the whole of my life falling about my feet. And next thing I did was just walk into the kitchen and say, what should we do about it? And I suddenly said, why don't we invite her in? Why don't we have her in? And then we'll see. And of course, I realized, I suppose very soon, that that gave me the opportunity to run the affair. I couldn't stop it, but at least I could orchestrate it.
And I dress up of the pyjama party. I put on red hold-up stockings, her see-through black shorty nightie, a long blonde wig, lipstick which goes all around my face.
You are, in fact, Robert Smith from The Cure.
You got the first name right. But you cannot imagine how many girls have tried to bed me dressed like that.
It's these days, they say. And you can always have them retouched.
Who's got any? Anyone got tattoos around the table? I bet you have. Come on. You got one.
Have you got a tattoo? Where's your tattoo?
I might have.
Oh, go on, tell us that. Where's your tattoo?
I've got one on my shoulder and one on my hip.
You know, I find Zach a really sexy lady, quite turned on. Sue is gorgeous. I mean, really lovely in a very different way. And there's a lot of sexual energy there. And I'm quite convinced that if you weren't here, we would be climbing all over each other.
Jeff tends to like everybody that comes to dinner, you know, if they're pleasant and interesting. So I don't think, you know, I never really noticed him making a beeline for one person. I think he's generally very friendly towards everyone.
We were interested in each other, but there was no sexual tension in the party, I wouldn't say. Perhaps a little bit from Jeff towards me, do you think?
Yes, I think Jeff put his hand on Sue's leg while he was talking, and I put my head down and looked like that at his hand, and then he removed it. I didn't have to say anything, I just looked at his hand, and then he removed it.
Andy and Fiona are getting ready to go to a fetish party.
Hello, Audrey-Ann. Come up, darling. There she is.
Great. I haven't seen Audrey-Ann for a long time. I think
No.
I'm going to have to tell her off, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to tell her off because she hasn't even been in touch. I don't think I should let her be my maid anymore.
Where is she? There she is. Come in. Where have you...
And where have you been all this time, Audrey-Ann?
I've been getting ready for the party.
No, I mean, I haven't seen you for months.
I know, I've been busy.
I'm going to have to reconsider you being my maid, definitely.
Go on, then.
Yeah.
Off you trot. That's Audrey.
Audrey-Ann.
That's Audrey-Ann.
That's Audrey-Ann.
That's our...
That's my maid.
That's our discovery. I mean, I've known Audrey 6 months, but I've known Audrey's alter ego 10 years, and...
Audrey's alter ego, that sounds like...
Well,
Audrey's the real person.
You know, it's like, there's times I really think that is the real person, you know what I mean? It's like, he told me one night I took him to submission, and he just told me
Sure
what
you
he
don't
would...
want any more?
No,
What's
not for a minute.
happened to your appetite?
Nothing yet. I can assure you.
Right,
But
okay, I see.
I took him to submission, put him in a rubber t-shirt and a pair of PVC
It wasn't
trousers.
submission, it was torture garden.
Well, whatever, it was some fetish club, London fetish party. Took him in and he, we came home and he just sat there, and when we came home we had a really good night and he had a ball. And I left him to trundle off because he'd sort of said before that he was like he was quite submissive and that. And then he just sat down on the settee and started to tell me that he had this alter ego, that he became a woman and liked this straight. I mean, he's completely 100% heterosexual, but he gets off in dressing in women's clothes. Well, good on him. But he's always been hung up about it and freaked out by it, and I love him to bits for it now. Well, without usual, baby, we're going to be well on schedule.
I don't think it's just like completely another world when you go into a fetish club and like you're walking around and there's like people with no clothes on and just kind of like blatant everywhere. But
in your face sex.
Then there isn't the same kind of cattle market attitude that you have in a lot of just ordinary nightclubs. Like you don't get chatted up by dickheads.
Ones that are comfortable. Your white ones look dead sexy, but they're just not comfortable.
I think Andy is driven purely by a sexual need, whereas if I'm going to do anything sexual with anybody, then I need to feel that there is a certain amount of trust and respect there. I'm not really the kind of person who could get involved in any kind of sexual scene with somebody that I didn't have some kind of foreknowledge of and know that they're a nice person and they respect me and there is a certain amount of respect there. I wouldn't have to know them intimately, but that's very important for me. And Andy's not like that.
What I mean is, put something on that's comfortable.
Shut up! I'll get the message.
I wouldn't feel upset, I wouldn't feel offended, I wouldn't feel threatened, I wouldn't feel any sort of jealousy. Or I'd be like, I'd actually go on, go there and have it, go on. Fuck his brains out, girl. You know what I mean? And I'd sit back and go, yes, nice one. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, but
Fiona wouldn't want me
It's
to.
not something that I want.
No, I know it isn't, but I'm saying I've got. That's where mine.
Shut up! Just that you've been thinking about it, that you would enjoy that. It's like I can't even begin to comprehend it. Stop whinging. It's like nauseating. You get two sorts of people at fetish clubs, don't you?
She feels threatened all the time by other people. Don't ask me why. She thinks that she's not up to scratch. She thinks, oh, if I can have an orgasm with somebody else, then that's an orgasm that she should have had. I should have given that orgasm to her, not to the other person. She thinks that by me giving that to her, it's showing me less love for her.
So does that make your relationship harder?
It gives it its swings, you know. It gives it its bite. That's why our relationship's great, because it's so up and down constantly.
What are you telling me?
Well,
Was that true or not?
Yeah, it is true as such. But what I call it about, it's like sometimes I have brief encounters. I might bump
What
in.
do you encounter as a brief encounter?
I might sort of say, oh, you've got
Yeah,
nice.
you just
nice,
go and
nice
grab somebody's breast or stick your finger up there.
No, necessarily. I can honestly say I don't think I've shoved my finger up anybody's in the club when you've been there.
Apart from when you shoved your finger up that woman's and then shoved it in my mouth and told me afterwards.
Yeah, but you said it tasted nice at first.
I didn't.
You
I
did.
didn't.
Yeah,
Well, you
you
said, "Does that taste nice?"
And
You
you
forced the
went,
issue,
yeah,
and
and you
I
went,
thought,
yeah. And you said, yeah.
why is he asking me that?
Well, yeah, but you said
I didn't
without
actually think
asking
it did taste nice.
But you,
It's bloody
you,
horrible.
so you lied to me.
Yes, I did.
Oh, well, there you
but
go.
Why
then.
were you?
There you go then. So you lied to me to suit your own means.
Why did you marry her?
Because I love her. And because she makes me happy. And she loves me she gives me the love that nobody else has ever has. And I don't know, I don't think there's much more I can say to that. She just fills me with total happiness at times. She pisses me off a hell of a lot, but you know, it's like when we have an argument and we've said it just recently, we've had some screamers, big time, proper. But, you know, like a couple of hours later, we're closer then. After the argument, we're even closer than we felt before. How do you iron?
So the rules.
The rules tonight are we are not going to have any individual playing. As in, I'm not going to have any.
No, Andy. When have we ever been to a fetish club together where you've actually had a play? It hasn't happened. It's only been when I haven't been there.
Yeah, it has, but I've just sneaked off.
You've just never fucking told me.
You
fucking bastard! And you haven't told me till now.
You've never asked.
Shithead! I fucking hate you.
You've never asked.
Oh, fucking hell, Andy.
Well, I've never really had I've had like a
You
brief.
are.
I've had some brief encounters.
Andy, fuck off. And this is for real. I do find it upsetting when we've had situations where we've had a threesome with another woman, then I've found myself watching how much time he devotes to her and how much time he devotes to me, and I always feel that I have to assert my authority in a way, that it's like, this is my man. Make sure you don't go too far with him.
If anything, that's what will destroy our relationship, will be Fiona's jealousy. You know, that's the only thing that will destroy our relationship, will be her jealousy.
Do you think there's any danger that it might?
Yeah, I think there is a danger that it might do. Oh, no! Bollocks to that. I've just fucking burnt my shirt. Fucking favourite shirt's knackered because of you.
Tough fucking shit. Serves you right.
Nan shared her home and her husband with another woman for nearly a year.
I didn't want them to go out together, alone. I could go out with her. We did, we went to theatre quite a bit. But I didn't want them to go out. And I remember them saying once, could they go out? And I said yes. And it was so painful. You know that business of when you can't do anything. You just can't do anything. I couldn't wash up, I couldn't go out, I was just walking around the room. It was just crying and waiting for them to come home. Just didn't want to think about what was going on or what they were talking about. Wanted to be there all the time. So in that sense I was controlling. It was much more painful than I expected. I cried a lot. I ran away for a week at one point. In fact, I ran to one of his best friends. So in that sense, I did betray him, but he was his best friend. And he didn't know what to do with it at all. I mean, how old were we? We were in our 30s. He just kept saying, oh, propinquity, Nan, propinquity. I mean, it was so pompous. Couldn't possibly leave him. And don't forget, this happened in the 50s. So, I mean, where do you go? Go home to your parents? Well, possibly. I don't know. But why? That's the point. Why leave him? He'd done nothing wrong to me. He hadn't stopped loving me. He'd simply fallen for somebody else as well. I'm wondering why I say he was unfaithful. I don't know if he was. Also, I've been brought up on English literature, of course. And I'll be faithful to you. Sinara, is it? Faithful to you in my fashion. I think men and women are so very different. And we can't lay down the rules for men.
Do you really think that?
I really feel that, yes.
I'm the one that has to change my way of life and the way I am. You know, that I've got to become what she wants. And that's what everybody's saying, oh, well, you should. You know. So, but hang on a minute, surely that question should also be asked to Fiona. Why can't she become what I want? Why should it be just me that has to change? Because what says that I'm wrong?
Hasn't she tried and it hasn't made her?
Well, I've tried and it hasn't made me happy.
I'm getting excited. Hey, can I have some more beer, please? Baby.
Give me a snug all day.
No, I've got lipstick on. I've got lipstick on and I'm stressed.
That's a busy
I am.
place. Yeah, well.
Very stressed.
Not to worry, I'm sure we'll be all right once we get there and have a drink and meet some people that we know.
We'll be all right.
You know what I mean?
Will we get in?
Yeah,
Of course we'll get in.
Of course we'll get in.
Of course we'll get in. And then you can guess list.
Yeah, do I have any regrets? Of course. You know, I'm 39 now and you know, I'm at the stage where everybody's sort of settling and having kids on the last leap, as it were. And yeah, it's a big decision, really. And you never quite know. And time has flown so quickly. It's difficult at work, you know, people are getting pregnant and you're constantly, you know, the talk is about weddings and having babies and, you know, it's a bit difficult then to start talking about sexy dinner parties and, you know, my life is totally different really, to be honest. But I just don't join in on that side of things, I just listen. Fortunately, I'm a good listener, so it doesn't
Is there any
matter.
part of you that wants it?
Yeah, I mean, I often say to Jeff, I wish you could take a snatch of your, you know, lifestyles and just when you dream and just have a few hours of people's life and put it back again. But you know, you can't have it all. At the moment, I'm happy with what we have. I'm not sure there's time for all that. That's the problem.
you know what I mean? They go out and get, it's like half friend over.
I've always had long nails. I've always walked full side.
You're not a tranny.
No, I'm a woman.
But you look as glamorous as that. Oh, right, because you're telling me you're a vampire then? Among your other traits, you're a vampire?
I'm a vampire.
Ah, right, lesbo vampire from...
No, lesbo.
No.
When I'm at work.
When you do work, what do you do?
Well, I told you I work on a sex shop.
Oh, right. So you actually... Now, that's interesting, because I
go for one.
Do you know, that might... which one are you on? Like, which line number? Because you have your own space. Just... Yeah, well, I can't...
I told my children afterwards. My youngest remembers me crying, so she said, "Oh, that explains that."
Do they blame anyone?
Yes, in the sense that they would blame, I think, blame their parents for bringing them up the way they did. And you see, I reacted, as you can imagine, I reacted and devoted myself a lot more to my husband. And so that they probably missed out quite a bit, or felt they missed out. Felt that we were an item. We were told that quite often. "No, well, you and Dad are an item, and we don't come into the equation." And I didn't know why they thought that way. It didn't occur to me, you see, why they thought that way, because it was not true. They have always meant a great deal to me. But then looking back, it suddenly clicked. Of course, that's what happened as a result of her. I always have this vision of the kitchen where we're standing. Whatever big things were happening, it was always in the kitchen. I think it was one of those kitchens. And I said, "It's time you went, Ma." And she said, "Oh, thank God, Nan. Thank God." And she agreed.
What would you lose if you had to give it up?
Nothing, because we have our memories. We wouldn't lose anything. We've got our memories, we've got our fantasies, we've got our imagination, and we've got each other.
And to a certain extent, we don't plan to do anything more in particular. It's a very small part of our life. It isn't a big part. You know, for some people, it's a really having sexual encounters and things with other people is a really big part of their life, and a lot of people actually can't give it up. They're almost hooked on it. There are things we don't do now that we've done before. It doesn't make any difference because we find new and other interesting things to do.
Getting on quite well. It's really nice. And when he went away on Saturday, he went to this club and he didn't get involved in anything.
Nothing at all?
No. Well, I think he was just stressed, actually.
Really? So being monogamous was in the forefront of his mind?
No. I think the party-going world was probably in the forefront of his mind.
Okay,
but
right.
I think also he was thinking about that as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she thinks on Saturday night that Saturday night that you didn't get up to anything, but you did, didn't you?
A little bit. But she hasn't asked me. She hasn't asked me if I got up to anything. So then, if she hasn't asked me, then if she'd have asked me, I would tell her. I didn't get up to anything I didn't touch. and which is what she said she didn't want me to do, so I didn't. I got a couple of girls together and got them doing things to each other in front of me. And they put a small show on just for me, personally. They were being extremely erotic. They were touching each other, kissing each other in all places, while I was stood back watching and enjoying it.
How difficult is it that fundamentally you do want something different from what she wants?
Very. But it's a very, very hard relationship, but I think it's worth it, and I know Fiona does. You know, I mean, saying that it's not been easy, but it's been getting quite difficult just recently, but, you know, I'm willing to try.
Bastards, Man United have won 3-0. Bastards.
You care so much about our relationship.
Our relationship is really important.
Football is
Come on,
always
Leeds,
comes
Scott.
first.
Of course, I told you that one. I always told you that when we first got together. I told you that, you know, no matter what we go through, don't ever try and come between me and Leeds. Because at the end of the day, I've loved Leeds since the day I was born, and I'll love Leeds till the day I die. There's no change, and they will always come first. If you ever ask me to make a decision, you or Leeds, I would always choose Leeds deliberately on the fact that, you know what I mean, because you're asking for that choice.
Yes, love. You can get down off your soapbox
I'm
now.
not on my soapbox.
You are. You are.
Just making
You're
that plain.
pontificating about football.
Is it?
Aren't you?
It's more important than our relationship. Yes, I would say it is.
We're very different people when we want. Sometimes we want different things, and it's about reaching a compromise. It's complicated. Primitive charm of a designer caveman.
I could really come out with some of these sarcastic comments like, you know, you never say anything.
It's not a sarcastic comment.
You never ever say anything positive. That's not a positive statement about me.
Andy, that's not a fuck having a go at you.
No, but it's not. You never give me anything positive, do you? You never turn around and look positive towards me. See what I mean? That's it. Do your fucking usual. She's like this all the fucking time, though. It's like, I say one thing that's like, she continuously says this stuff to me, and that, but whenever I have a slightest, return back to her, she's off into a little sobbing world, bursts into tears like a 10-year-old.
Honey, will you shut the fuck up? Why are you doing this to me?
I'm not assassinating. I say one thing and you go off into your moods again. This is what I have to put up with all the time.
Fucking shouting!
Well, why don't you come in here so I don't have to then?
Why don't you just shut up?
All right, sorry, yeah.
I remember the pain of hearing it, of hearing him say, and then realizing he meant it. I remember that pain. I remember the fact that I cried a lot. Great crier I was. Just glad when I stopped crying. I remember a lot of nice things. Remember the pain of when she'd gone and that he was hurt and he was upset.
Fiona's moved the goalposts every week. I started off with a 6-foot net when we first got together. I would play it, I had other women on the go, and I was doing this and I was doing that. And slowly but surely, she's moved the goalposts in until I'm shooting at one post. How can I score a goal if that's happening? Coming home in the taxi on Sunday night, I just said, that's it. I can't do this anymore. I can't live this. I'm fed up with I can't be me, you can't be you, I'm moving out.
carry on, we will hate one another. And it's kind of, you know, if we look at our relationship as it is now, and we look back as we were 2 years ago, and when we first met, it's definitely changed, and we don't deal with one another with the same respect that we did when we first met.
We've been married 6 months, and it's about, you know, I mean, it just makes an arsehole of it, really, doesn't it? I thought we'd at least sort of let it fold out, you know. I bet she was very pleased, Mummy, wasn't she?
She didn't say she was pleased, she said, "Oh, that doesn't surprise me."
I didn't think it would. The thing that surprises most people is we've lasted so long. And I think that's the shock of it, don't you?